Chapter 1. Hamarsson. I'm not in the office today. Whatever, you couldn't find me. Chief Myers tossed the sheaf of paperwork onto her desk. She overshot. The pages slid one by one onto the carpeted office floor. You can have leave. Extended leave, as much vacation and sick time as you need. God and human resources know you haven't called in sick in years, much less taken a vacation. Hamarsson began. Chief, with all due respect. He knew better than to use ma'am with Myers. He liked having both his balls. Respect? Myers barked out a laugh. You've never respected me. But you're a damn good detective, and I'm not letting you go without a fight. Hamarsson took a breath, then another deeper one. I don't plan on coming back. The words came out mulishly, more like a cranky teenager than a nearly 40-year-old man. Myers stood from her perch on the edge of her desk, continuing to ignore Hamarsson's paperwork. Well, with all due respect, Hamarsson, I'm giving you time to think about it. Go on a trip. Take your boyfriend on a vacation. Go somewhere warm. Now get out of my office. I have a meeting with some yahoo from the city council in an hour. Niall didn't bother stopping by his desk before he left. He wasn't coming back. Myers would have to figure it out herself. He was still wearing his coat, because he'd never planned on staying for the day. He'd even driven into downtown to deliver his resignation. This only worsened his mood because the drivers in this city were worse than usual today, and now, after he'd paid $20 goddamn to park for an hour in a spot 4 blocks away from the Justice Center, Chief Meyer refused to accept his resignation paperwork. Before he reached the exit, one of the young security guards called out, "Detective Hamarsson, you dropped this." The guard held out a slip of paper he'd probably dropped into the aluminum tray at the security checkpoint on his way in. Reluctantly, Niall accepted the crumpled piece of notepaper. He didn't need it. He already knew what it said. Thanks. Without rereading the note, Niall tossed the paper into the closest trash can and exited through the double doors to 3rd Avenue and into the deluge. Sheeting rain came from all directions, even up from the pavement, it seemed. Turning left, he pushed his way through the stream of lawyers, paralegals, and other office workers who were arriving to the Justice Center for a day of negotiation and never-ending paperwork. An overly large umbrella came very close to putting out his eye. He threw its carrier a baleful glare. Sorry. The woman and the umbrella skittered away. Niall hunched his shoulders, shoving his hands into his coat pockets in an attempt to look unassuming and meek rather than radiating the dragon's fire bad humor he really felt. In his pocket, the cold plastic case surrounding his smartphone pressed against his palm. The thing had vibrated with a text or phone call while he'd been talking to Meyer, but he'd ignored it and would continue to do so. He'd already heard what Trey had to say. More than once. He strode by one of the historic pergolas near the Justice Center. Many of the city's downtown homeless were packed underneath it, trying to hide from the weather. Niall recognized most of them. One resourceful citizen had strung up a tarp for shelter. There were so many homeless these days, the city was at a loss as to how to help those who wanted it. Niall found the situation infinitely depressing. The rain increased. Hamarsson turned left again, striding up the steep sidewalk. A small river ran down the width of the pavement, and his leather shoes took on water, making his feet wet and cold, along with the rest of him. By the time he got to his parking spot, he was soaked to his ankles. Inside the relative warmth of his car, he fished his cell phone out of his coat pocket, more out of habit than anything else. Punching in his password, Niall listened to the waiting message. It was Trey. He deleted it. Trey's voice, appealing when they were first together, grated on his nerves these days. Vacation. Personal leave. The words floating around in his brain were foreign to him. He was Niall Hamarsson. He didn't take either. He slept and he worked.